How's it going? Welcome everyone to my non-spoiler Scream 5 review. Hope you guys are having a great day. I just got done watching the new Scream movie, and I gotta tell you, it wasn't really that bad. I had a lot of expectations for this movie. Unfortunately, there were a few things that were not met, but overall, this movie was really not that bad. Those of you who don't know, my name is Devin Hollister, and today I will be doing a non-spoiler review on the new Scream movie, Scream 5, or Scream whatever, 2022, whatever you want to call it. If you enjoyed this review, leave a like and a comment below, and make sure to subscribe, and I'll be doing a spoiler-free next review. So yeah, let's get this started. So starting off with the positives of this movie, the beginning scene was very awesome. You got a reminiscent kind of like repeating thing from the first movie where there's a girl who has the phone ringing, sadistic killer is calling her, and then there's a game going on. He plays and toys and tricks around with her, and next thing you know, you find this girl being chased around by Ghostface. But this one was done especially even more crazier than the first one. You've got him tampering with the locks in her house. Even the way he just like stabs the hell out of her was just crazy. Overall, this new Ghostface is way more bloodier than we've ever seen. Even bloodier than the fourth movie. There's a couple kills in this movie which I won't really get into because I don't want to spoil it. But I will say that they're a lot more gruesome than they used to be. And that's another positive I have, is how gruesome, how they kind of amplify how gruesome they are compared to the past few movies. Another positive I have is how they still do the classic Scream thing where they make fun of cliche horror tropes, such as when a girl is running and they fall, blah, 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 and all that. They make fun of suspenseful moments in a movie, say if like someone's doing something and you think that at that moment that they're just the killer or whatever is just gonna pop up. But no, it doesn't happen. There's this one part where they play the suspenseful music and they make you think it's gonna happen, but then they kind of like laugh in your face when it doesn't. And it just keeps going on and on and on for that scene, and I just found it hilarious because it's what Scream is best at. It's what this franchise is known for, is making fun of those horror tropes. Now, I will also say, for another Scream movie that Wes Craven has, like for the first time, no involvement in at all, this stayed true to the formula of the past four movies. It even still like gave respect. While we had like a new cast of people, it still gave respect to the OG characters. Sydney, Dewey, and Gail. It even mentioned Randy at one point. So I thought that was really awesome that they made sure that these OG characters got the respect that they deserve while providing a new story with these new characters. And that's another positive that I have, is how much fan service that this movie provides. Not to just Scream fans, but to all of horror movie fans in general. And my final positive for this movie is going to be David Arquette as Dewey. Dewey has always been one of my most favorite characters from this franchise, especially because of his wit, his bravery, just always being a good person, always trying to protect everyone. Unfortunately, there was one part of this movie that I will talk about in my spoiler review that I really did not kind of like appreciate. So that'll be for another time. But David Arquette, he really knocked this role out, coming back as Dewey. We learn about his relationship with Gail and him being involved with this mess again. And just in general, just to see all these OG characters back, especially from years ago when the last movie came out back in 2011. It was just such a great thing that happened in this movie. And like I said, it just provided so much fan service, especially to a new story like this. Now on to my mixed viewpoints of this movie. the main mix that I would say really the only mixed thing I have on this movie is the kills. Now, I like the kills because of how they've amplified how gruesome they are compared to the other movies. They are a lot more bloodier, a lot more grittier than what we've ever seen in any Scream movie before. However, a lot of them, and I'll talk about it in my spoiler review, but I'm not going to say exactly what goes on. However, the kills in this movie feel almost like the majority of them feel the same. It feels like the same thing happens. Like if you watch this movie and you pay attention, it feels like the same, like almost every person dies the same exact way. And I don't know, maybe that was like something that the filmmakers did on purpose, but I personally just was noticing that, and I didn't really like that. But they were still really good kills, but they just felt like it was the same one over and over again, except for one or two of them that I'll get into my spoiler review. Now on to my negatives. There are a few. Now, the Scream franchise is known for talking a lot about movie stuff, like the rules of surviving a horror movie and all that. Scream does a really good job of that. The franchise as a whole is just really, really good at using that type of storytelling to their advantage. The point in this movie, I'd say about for the second half of this movie, where they rely on that way too much. Towards the second half of this movie, you nonstop just hear about fandom and rules, and it gets to a point it's where they got way too carried away with talking about it. Now, to any Scream fans who get mad at me when I say that, I just want to say before you get mad, I love how in Scream they have always done that. I love it. I mean, that was the point of Randy's character in the first two and the cameo in the third one. But this new Scream movie, to me, they used it a bit too much. That's just how I feel. And for some reason, I just feel like all that dialogue was it just got to a point where it's a bit cringy for me. Another negative that I have is, and I'll get to it in my spoiler review, just like all the stuff I talked about before, is the involvement of how they use the character of Billy Loomis in this story. Now, for those of you who don't know, Billy Loomis was and Stu were the original killers from the first one. Of course, without saying how, they somehow utilized those characters, mainly Billy, into this movie. But the way they use him, and like I said, I'm not going to say anything, but the way they used him, I did not really like. I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't know how else to explain it without spoiling it. But believe me, when I make this spoiler review, I will explain it, and hopefully you guys will understand. My next negative was the main characters of this story. Besides the OG characters, I'm talking about the new cast of people. I did not really like their acting, except for the beginning girl from the first scene and throughout the movie. I thought she was okay, but I did not like the main character, Samantha. I don't know. I didn't find her interesting enough. I didn't find any of these characters really that interesting. They had a little bit of personality. I mean, at the beginning, I didn't really like them, and then throughout, they were all right. But I just really could not connect with these new characters. There was just nothing about them that was really that interesting to me. And their acting to me was kind of bland. It's just the way they were written, and I don't know. And my final negative for this movie was the reveal of the killer. Like I said, obviously, I'm not going to say anything until my spoiler review. But I thought it was a complete failure. I thought the final act of this movie was garbage. The motive was absolutely dumb, and it did not live up to the hype that I had for this movie. Not only that, but they were so obvious to me. That is the first time I have ever said that in any Scream movie, that the killer to me was obvious. And for the reasons why I knew it was obvious, I will explain in my spoiler review. But overall, guys, as a Scream fan, I was satisfied. I did not hate this movie at all. I thought this was a good Scream sequel. I definitely think it's in the top of the franchise, even though there's 5 of them. And I honestly, if this is the last one, that's fine. But I'm always waiting for another one. There has never ever been a bad Scream sequel, and I really did. I actually enjoyed this one. So yeah, guys, I say go out and buy and watch Scream 5. You and your friends would have a great time watching this movie still. And I really hope that a lot of Scream fans out there are very satisfied as well. So what did you guys think of Scream 5? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Have you seen it yet? I know it just came out today, so hopefully you guys will be able to see it soon. And I'll have my spoiler review posted for this movie the next day after this video is released. So let me know, guys, in the comments below what you thought of my review. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.